Day 4, Radio Free Skaro, Fluid Links Advent Calendar. Question from guitarist Guitarist Jams, who's written in before, has this question this time. Considering the success of Gotham and possibly Krypton TV shows, would a prequel series focusing on Gallifrey and the Time Lords pre-Doctor be successful?
Pre-Doctor?
Pre-Doctor.
I don't want to see that.
No, I don't want to either.
Well, the biggest trap... Okay, so Smallville I'm going to throw into the mix as well.
All right. You've seen
Krypton,
I haven't.
Yeah, Krypton's pretty crap from what I have seen.
Hey, you know what? So is Smallville. In fact, most of these things are kind of dull. But anyway.
Well, one of the biggest things about these prequel type things is, as much as the remit is to do, 50 years before Superman, or before the Doctor comes along, before the Looms, if you really want.
Looms.
It never happens that way because they always have to start bringing in whatever. So like on Smallville, for example, they bring Lois Lane in 20 years earlier than she should be there.
Not right.
In Gotham, depending on which Batman mythology you want to follow, I mean, the last season of Gotham is basically the rise of the Joker, which... shouldn't be there yet. Gotham's a great series. I'm really enjoying it, but there's always this need to take the established mythos and somehow shoehorn it into this prequel timeline, and it just doesn't always work. It doesn't always need to be that way, but for whatever reason, people are either not creative enough to come up with alternate stuff to replace young Joker.
Although I'm sure some shows must have done that.
None I can think of. At least not with... but the bigger problem is not the writing. The bigger problem is the fans. The fans who watch Gotham and maybe they like it, but they're like, oh, well, I really wish that we'd see more of the Scarecrow or Penguin or...
True. Or Enterprise is kind of like that, too. Like, they throw in a lot of stuff that... Like, the Borg are in there for no particularly good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because people get impatient. One of the rejected... Actually, the one that came, the BBC came to RTD and said, hey, we'd like you to do maybe a prequel series of young Doctor Who. It could be the young Doctor on Gallifrey. This is basically what we're talking about here. And Russell the Davies said, no, that'd be dumb. And instead he made Sarah Jane Adventures instead, which is much better.
The only part of Young Doctor we need to ever see is the stuff in Listen, and I'm perfectly happy with that being the only time I ever see that.
It'll just be a boy in a barn, and that's the name of the series right there.
Yep.
What I envision would be, it can't be, I don't think it could be pre-Doctor. It'd have to be young Doctor. And what I have, for some reason, stuck in my brain is something like the Doctor, the Master, and somehow, even though the same person, different generation, Missy, all in high school together, like Saved by the Bell.
Actually,
that sounds terrible.
I think in this part, you can actually say maybe the Ronnie, because the Ronnie was kind of with them too. That was a hell of a graduating class. And Drax has to be there too.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
Drax went to university with the Doctor, not necessarily high school. So doesn't mean he can't be there.
Yeah. What
they're doing with apparently Amazon is doing with the Lord of the Rings TV show that they're doing is that they're just going like 1,000 years back. I think that's what I gather they're doing. And they can do that because Tolkien wrote all this prehistory to the books that they can draw from. Now, if you're gonna do, I don't want them to do this. I'm gonna make this perfectly clear. But if you're going to do it, make it about the rise and fall of Rassilon and all that kind of stuff. Make it about. Then you could just have Rassilon, a couple of Omega, a couple other guys,
but then
people, and then just the rest of it is all your own mythology.
Yeah, but then there's all the stuff about you'd have to, well, maybe at any rate, consider like the other and all this other stuff
and Omega. Don't forget Omega.
I said Omega.
He said Omega.
Okay.
The other is supposed to be like some ancient Time Lord of whom the Doctor is like a knockoff or a clone or
whatever.
Is that a cardinal
but you don't. But see, here's the thing: you don't have to respect any of that. If you're doing your own series, just like Krypton, I think, does.
But that's just it.
You can just do whatever you want given these odd characters. Then you create your own mythos to go with it.
But it never happens that way.
But I'm saying if you're going to do it right.
That way.
Yes, I know it doesn't, and they shouldn't do it. I agree with you completely. I'm just saying, if he were to do it,
No.
this would be the way to do it.
But the very
And it would
Go
never
way
nature,
the hell back in the midst of time.
the,
What's that?
the very nature of prequels is to do it wrong.
Yes.
That's
I
how you
agree.
make a prequel.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I'm saying if they wanted to do this,
No.
and eventually they might do this in book form. Who knows? Like, that would be where to do it, actually, not a TV show.
If it was good, then it wouldn't be a prequel. That is my overriding thought about prequels.